Okay, testing, testing. Is this thing on? Okay, ladies, so here's the debriefing that you all asked for. Men, keep scrolling or stay and take notes on what not to do. Okay, so I'm going to give you some context. So we met on either Hinge or freaking Facebook dating back in May of last year. I think we talked for like 2.5 weeks while I was in the Philippines. And then when I got back to LA, that's when we went on this first date. So from the moment that we matched, this guy was texting me every day, uh, calling me on the phone, not FaceTime yet, but called me on the phone almost every single night for like maybe a week. And then I was like, okay, it's kind of weird. Like it's at the time it's 2025. You FaceTime, right? If to show interest. You want to see face, right? His little like tagline was ex Hooper turned science teacher. And I thought, cute. This is, please forgive me. I have ADHD, so this might be a little all over the place. I'll do my best to keep things chronological. Okay, so your girl likes to research. Okay, if I like something, I will research the F out of it. There was no such evidence of a dude with his name that ever played basketball on any pro level, on any level, in fact. Also, felt like this was my first low key catfish because, yeah, like the photos did not necessarily match the person when we met, but I'll get there. I'll get there. So, like I said, like we were texting every single day. He would call me in the morning, my time, and then call me at night all the way up until I fell asleep. Mind you, like the time zones were completely flip flopped. I'm in the Philippines at the time. He was in LA. So I'd be going to bed when he'd be waking up, vice versa. Before we finally get on any FaceTime call, I can't help but notice hindsight's always 2020, right? But I can't help but notice like the one specific phone conversation we have before we ever FaceTime, he goes into this whole elaborate story of how, he's no longer in his peak physical shape and how he used to play basketball and he was like an elite athlete and whatever, like really painting the picture of this dude that he once was and like touching on the fact that he might not look like that anymore and just talking about, I think it was his knee, talking about his knee injury and how it changed his life forever. And like when he no longer was a basketball player, everyone looked at him differently and treated him differently, including his family, had no support from his family. Give me this like very elaborate, very vulnerable seeming story of his like struggle, right? Okay, I'll come back to that. In one of these earlier phone conversations, he was talking to me about like how we dress, and he was like, yeah, so like are you into designer brands, like are you into branded stuff? And I was like, honestly, no. If it's cute, it's cute. I don't really care for labels like that. I mean, if it happens to be a designer brand, cool. If it's not, cool. If I think it's cute, I'll wear it. And then I asked him like, well, what about you? And he was like, oh yeah, no, I only like branded things. Like I like nice things. And I'm like, got it, noted. You like designer stuff, you like the labels. Noted. Again, painting a picture of who he is here. Fast forward to when he FaceTimes me. It's like early morning, my time in the Philippines. It's like later at night for him in LA. The thing goes, "Huh?" And I can't help but notice, like, bruh, it's May and you have a hoodie on and it's Los Angeles. Like, why do you have a hoodie on? Why? It's not cold. I checked the weather. He's got his freaking hoodie on. It's like so around his face like this. And he's got facial hair, like a lot of facial hair. And I was like, I can barely see your face, bro. But with the amount of face that I did see, I noticed it was a little bit plumper than the photos posted on his dating profile. And I was like, I mean, that's not a problem. Just be current with me, dude. I just want to know what you look like. Don't try to sell me on an older model. And I asked him where he's at because it looked like he was in the drive through and he was like, oh, I'm at In and Out. And I'm like, oh, haha, yeah, love me some In and Out. Right. Okay. Again, I'll circle back to that. I like to just kind of connect with you first before I do a deep dive into your social media. I work in social media advertising. I can't help it. I will tend to do a deep dive after X amount of time or after I feel like there is a connection formed. Then I'll see what's up. So after that FaceTime call and I notice like, those photos seem old, I decide to do a deep dive, especially after that whole elaborate like struggle story. Girl, it wasn't even that deep because when I pulled up his social media, it was all right there. Like in his current feed. I'm talking like his most recent relationship was still splashed all over his feed in his highlight bubbles, as if like if I were to look at that, I would think you have a girlfriend. So I was like, hmm, red flag. So then I decided to bring it up. And the day I decided to bring it up, I was also flying back to LA from the Philippines. It was my last day. And I was like, you know what? Let me just bring it up. I don't want to talk to the guy on the phone because I don't want to like prolong this whole thing. Let me just shoot him a text. Okay, ready? So now we're going to read the text. We're going to read the text. This is from me. Hey, so I wanted to be completely honest with you about something that's been on my mind. When you asked about my last 2 years, I really appreciated the question. But when I asked you the same, I noticed the answer wasn't very clear. Later, I saw something that made it seem like your last relationship ended recently, like late August. I'm not trying to dig or accuse. I just want to be real with how I'm feeling. I value emotional clarity and honesty, especially when starting to get to know someone. It's important for me to feel like someone's truly ready for something new and not just processing the past. I would love to understand where you're at emotionally. I'm not judging. I just want to make sure we're being real with one another. His response: it was my fault for being vulnerable and showing weakness. This hurts a lot because I want to be open with my partner so we could do everything from one sound, unified mind. Bro, I'm not your partner. I haven't even met you yet. Then I say, please don't give me the runaround, dot, dot, dot. If you could just address what I said, that's all I want. And then I respond to his specific text bubble that says, it was my fault for being vulnerable and showing weakness. I respond to that text bubble with saying, this has nothing to do with what I just texted you. Then he says, you didn't even answer or call me back or even leave a voice message. The energy was different the moment I showed weakness. The timing of you bringing up something from the past suddenly needed understanding. It's all indicative of a shift. I go, wait. Okay, you're deflecting. I told you I was busy with my family, which was true. It's my last day being home, and I explained that. You're still giving me the runaround. When did your relationship end with, and then I say her name. This has nothing to do with the vulnerability you expressed last night. I saw your social media. It's literally right there. That's what I'm talking about. He goes, when did you see it? You've seen it for weeks. It wasn't a question until now. I said, I saw it this morning. I was thinking of you and I decided to look at your highlight bubbles. He goes, oh, literally the letter O. Oh, I said, answer the question, please. And he goes, we have to talk about it. This isn't something I want you trying to make sense of on your own. I say, no, it's a straightforward question. I just need a date. When did you guys break up? He goes, why are you asking now? That is a conversation, not a text. The timing of this line of questioning is painful. I know. Hold on. And then I say, nope, it's a straightforward answer. I'm currently getting my nails done with my niece and my nephew. I'm not one to do this to. I'm not stupid. And I already told you, I found all the information from your social media. Oh, I responded to his text bubble. Why are you asking now? I said, I already told you. I found the information from your social media. And yet here we are. You're still giving me a runaround when all I'm asking for is a date. He goes, we're going to respect that this conversation deserves more than a text while getting nails done. When we find some time to talk, we can take the time to discuss. Left his ass on red. Then he hits me with a text later. Hope your day's been fulfilling so far. Soak up every minute with your family and the energy of home. Finally getting to sleep after prepping for the week. Let me know when you make it to the airport. Enjoy the day, Lil Radiance. Sleep emoji and a rose emoji. Blech. I remember sending this text. I was on the plane. I was in my seat. I go, hey, I'm about to take off on my flight back to LA, and I took the day to truly reflect and pray on this. I've come to a clear decision. I'm choosing to step away from this connection. When I asked a simple, honest question about your past, the way it was handled left me with confusion instead of clarity. Also, side note, what I loved or what I thought I loved about this person was how much of a relationship with God that he had. And I was like, I love that. You read the Bible every day. We could talk about God. That's awesome. So, okay, I go. First Corinthians 14:33 says, God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. I say, and this dynamic hasn't brought the kind of peace I value and live by. I'm seeking something emotionally grounded, transparent, and spiritually aligned. This doesn't feel like any of that. This isn't about blame. This is about discernment. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." That's what I'm doing now. Although difficult, I feel like it's necessary. I truly wish you growth and healing and peace, but as I return home, I'm also returning to the clarity of who I am and what I won't compromise. Please take care of yourself. Dang, why did I say all of that? Hey, a little spicy, I guess. And he responds, "Good morning. I appreciate you taking the time to reflect. We have put too much time into this connection to allow a singular moment of not getting my way to define it." I know you're not talking about me, fool. Now, in reality, the energy changed after you heard my tears and pain. The sad truth is that after the conversation, you didn't say, "Good night, babe," didn't gesture a kiss the night before. The following morning, you chose to ignore my phone call, failed to answer a simple question when asked about flight information, and instead of calling back or sending that information to me, you found time to search Instagram for an excuse. I apologize for showing weakness and being completely vulnerable. I was caught in the potential of being able to share a heavy burden by at least not having to deal with my pain alone. But a man's tears are never met with compassion. You prove to be no exception to the rule. Narc, 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 narc. Then he continues to say, "In one of our early conversations, you said, 'Allow me to be a helpmate. You don't have to be strong all the time.'" Yeah, I did say that. I did say that because I was like, you know what? You don't have to be strong all the time. Especially when he was like being all vulnerable. I was like, hey, it's okay. Like you could share. You could share. It's okay. I'm not gonna run away because you have big feelings. Like, no. I was skeptical then, but those words felt like a warm hug I never knew existed. I was foolish to believe them. For you to come to any conclusion about us without us is as big of a flag as can be. If you do it now, you're capable of doing it again. But for some reason, I'm compelled to give it grace and open to a conversation when you land on this side. I will never force anything. I'm not chasing here, but I am going to give us a chance to hear one another and see if all we felt was real. Fly safe and let me know when you've made it stateside. Why did I go on this date, bro? After that, you know what I honestly thought? I thought, social experiment. Let's see. I need to meet this person face to face and read their energy because I'm very capable of walking away from something that is just not right. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Now that the context is over, here's the actual first date. Okay. Fast forward to June. Originally, he said to be ready by 7:30. He was going to pick me up. And I was like, okay, great. I was ready. I was fully ready by 7:30. He doesn't show up until 8:30. And yes, he did let me know I'm running late. I underestimated traffic, whatever. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. There was a lot of butterflies. I couldn't catch my breath. And I should have known. I should have known, girl, that's a lack of peace. That is not it. Okay. Mind you, I was also praying throughout the day. I was praying over the date. I was praying over my mind, over my heart, praying for protection. And I was blasting worship music. I was like, listen, God, I don't know why I'm so nervous to go on this date, but I'm just gonna do it. And you're gonna show me. I know you're gonna show me exactly who he is ASAP. Expeditiously, Lord. So I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with my girl Katie all the way up until I open the door from my basement to the outside world. Keep in mind, this door is solid, so you can't see on the other side. I took a deep breath in and out, and then I opened the door. And he's standing in the middle of the road with a bouquet of flowers. And I just thought, dang. Regardless, they're flowers. Yay! Okay, he's standing in the middle of the road, and it's a side street. I get it, like no cars were passing, but like how dramatic, bro! You're standing in the middle of the road, holding these flowers, and his head is tilted like this, and he's just, and then I open the door, and he goes, and I'm like, okay, run that back. You did not need to do all of that. This is not a rom com. Stop it. I'm going off of what he said, right? I notice he's not wearing what he said that he typically wears. It looked like a thrifted, and nothing wrong with thrifting. I love a good thrift find. But it looked like an old grandpa's shirt with so many wrinkles. It did not fit him. It was hanging off of him. So it just threw me off guard based on what he said and how he dressed, right? It just wasn't matching. I'm not judging like, oh, he wore that. No, I'm judging based on what he said and what he said he liked to wear. So then I go in for a hug. I'm like, hi. I go in for a hug, and y'all, he smelled like my Lolo. He smelled like my Lolo. My Lolo when my Lolo was my Lolo. Okay. Like old musky man. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like there's a musk, and it's not a good one. It's not a good one. And I was like, dang it. Dang it. If you know me, I appreciate good scents. I like when people have a signature scent or a signature smell. I don't know. Even if it's like a hotel, I'm like, I love it. I love the added like zaza of a signature smell. Just me, just me. Okay. And then I get in the car and I notice, oh, cute. There's like a pineapple flavored coconut water seat belted into the front seat. I'm like, wait, that's so cute. I love my coconut water. But then I sit in the car and the car smelled like pee. The car smelled like pee, straight up. And so we are driving downtown to this surprise dinner spot. Like he didn't tell me where we were going. He just decided, oh, I'm just going to surprise her. Cute. Love that. Cute. But then I was a little sussed out because we get there, everything is shut down. There's people on the side of the road, like loading up vegetables and flowers and stuff. And I was like, this doesn't look right. But then we go inside this like plaza, and it's a cute, Filipino restaurant called La Cita. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how cute, like how thoughtful, yay. We sit down, and typically like you order a drink before you order your meal. So I noticed they had ube flavored beer. And I was like, oh, I've never tried Encanto before. I really want to try it. Like, yay. So he's like, can I get you anything to drink? Can I get you guys anything to drink to start? And I'm like, yeah, I was like, I saw you have ube beer. And he's like, yeah, girl, are you trying to have some? And I go, yeah. And I look at him and I'm like, you? And he goes, well, I don't drink. Well, I don't drink. Like, "Uh, what?" And I'm like, okay, I felt super judged. So I go, I'll just stick with the water for now. He gave me these eyes like, well, I don't drink. And I'm like, okay. And then I go, oh, okay. Like, so do you not drink at all? Are you a social drinker? And he goes, no, not at all. I don't drink any alcohol. My body is clean. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't have tattoos. I notice you have tattoos. Okay. And he goes, no, I treat my body like it's a temple. I'm like, bro, you ate In and Out the other day. What? Just saying. And he goes, yeah, the way I eat, what I put into my body and onto my body, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. So I noticed when the meat came out, um, it was their twist on like I think bistec Tagalog, bro. The way he was eating this meat, I was like, what? You have this meat just I don't know how. I don't even know how to do it. I should try because I've never tried, but it was amazing to me because he had the meat like on the outside of his lips, and he was on the meat. Like, how are you eating it without it in your mouth? I'm confused. I'm so confused. I couldn't like help but stare, and I was just not in a good way. I was like, ugh. And then by the time they serve the dessert, the champorado, I had gotten up to use the restroom, wash my hands, and I noticed he was like sitting on my side of the table. When I got back, I go, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm trying to be like them. And I go, huh? I look up at the couple that I had been seeing behind my date, like behind him, like diagonally, sorry, but diagonally from me was this couple just eating face, bro. Like they were like eating face. I don't know if they were on something or what, but like, yo. And I'm like, are we in Europe right now? Anyway, so I was just like trying to ignore them. And and okay, mind you, he comes and sits on my side, his arms like this. And he's like, I go, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm trying to be like them. Uh, And he's like, what? You don't want to be close to me? I go, no, I like my elbow room. Like I don't like the not I don't like the couples, but I don't like it when people sit next to me and eat. Like that's so lame. I want to sit across from you and share the plate like this, not side by side. Like we have no elbow room. I don't like that. He doesn't end up leaving. He stays there. I eat the whole champurrado. I eat the whole thing because he wasn't really into the chocolate rice porridge that it is. I was like, fine, fair, more for me. We walk to the car and he's like, okay, part two. And I'm like, okay, don't know where we're going. We drive to some part of downtown, like the heart of downtown. We park in a parking garage. He pays $10 to the guy working the parking garage booth. And we run up to whatever mysterious door this is. It's locked. It's definitely closed. And I'm like, you didn't check the time? He goes, well, no, I just thought that they'd be open. Oh, yeah, you thought. Maybe you should think to check if a place is open, especially if you're bringing somebody there. Like, come on, come on. So then we walk back to the parking garage. I get in the car. He goes, can I have my money back? They're closed. Can I have my money back? And in my mind, I'm thinking, that's not his problem. That's not his problem. We parked here. We paid to park here. Regardless of whether that establishment was closed or not, we paid to park here, dude. And it was $10. In LA, I think that's a steal to park in a parking garage. Oh, this is so cringe. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Asks for his money back, doesn't get his money back, gets cranky about it. And then he's like, well, that was a bust. I don't want to take you home yet. So how do you feel about going to the beach? I know what you're going to say. I know. I was like, me being me, I was like, oh my gosh, I love the beach. I love the beach. Yeah. I would love to just sit and listen to the waves. Yeah, let's do it. I know. I know. So we're driving to the beach. We're driving to Playa del Rey. Again, conversation really mid, really meh, not memorable. Couldn't tell you what we talked about. That's how like meh it was. But the one thing I do remember about this car ride was this man picks up like the floss pick, like the green toothpick floss thingy. It's just sitting there, just a la carte, just sitting there in the cup holder, grabs it, and he starts picking away at his teeth. And then he casually goes, to me, and gestures me, like almost as if you want to use it. And I go, no, that's gross. And he's like, "Mm-hmm. What? So we get to the beach. He parks in a place where you're not supposed to park, like right next to the sand. And I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to park here. He's like, no one's ever here. And I'm like, okay. He pops open the trunk. He has a hoodie for me. There's a blanket. He has sandals, whatever. And I'm like, oh, you planned this, sir. Okay, whatever. This was not a spontaneous idea. You hoped for this. So then we make it to the water and I see like other people on the beach and I'm like, oh, cute. Like, okay, we'll be in sight with people. He takes us so close to the water, plops down the blanket, and I realize like, oh, we are so alone. And I'm facing the water. My back is to him. And I should have known this was a red flag, y'all. I should have known. I already know. Like so many of my girlfriends were like, what? Why did you do that? Everyone knows what that is. Everyone knows what he wants to do. I'm like, I don't, I like the water. My back is facing him. He has his arm around me like this, like across the front. And then I notice, like, as I'm yapping away, he's like massaging my shoulders. And I'm like, oh, wow, like, that's nice. He's like, oh, you have really tense shoulders. And then I start yammering on about how, like, my neck naturally goes forward because I have a whiplash neckline from being dropped from cheerleading. So my shoulders have to work 10 times as hard to pull my neck back. As I'm yapping, I feel the hands wander a little bit. And I go, and I just kind of redirect. Okay. But then I realized, like, okay, the handiness is hitting a crescendo. I don't want that. But then also my brain was like, you're alone with this dude. This dude is really tall. Let's just get through the moment, okay? So that we can make it home safely. So then keep in mind, I had a really good friend of mine crashing in my apartment because she was in town. So she was like, I'll be here when you get home. I didn't want to spend the entire night out because I wanted to spend time with her. So I was like, okay, like I think we should head back. And he's like, no, I don't want to take you back yet. And I'm like, yeah, like I have a friend that's staying with me and I don't want to be rude. Like, please, like, take me home. We start walking back to the car. This is the cherry on top of the cake. Ready? We start walking back to the car. We're side by side. Do, walking back to the car. And he stops in his tracks and he goes, wait, I gotta take a leak. Before I could even finish the thought of, oh, there must be a porta potty like over there. Or like, I wonder if he's gonna. Psst. Bro, I heard I heard the belt, and then I heard the stream. I turn around. He's exactly where he stopped and said, I gotta take a leak. All he did was turn his back. All he did was turn his back. And then he just started peeing on the beach. Right there. No friendly bush, no attempt to hide himself, nothing. Just right smack dab right there. Right there. Right there. Playa del Rey, people. Playa del Rey. Did not try to hide behind like a little crevice of land. No. Just right there. Right there. Right there. I walk away so fast. I make it to the car and I notice he has a ticket. And I'm like, you're not going to like this. You have a ticket. He grabs it and he's like, it's nothing. Meanwhile, you were demanding the dude your $10 back. Okay. Okay. On the car ride home, he's like, we need to stop at Jack in the Box. And I go, we just ate. And he's like, we need to get more meat on your bones. Mind you, this is also the guy that said his body is a temple. Okay? Yet you want Jack in the Crack. I don't mind that. But I also had food at home and we just ate. And I'm not the one saying, like, oh yeah, like I treat my body like a temple. Also, side note, this is also the guy that told me, you have no lips. I was like, okay, got it. So there's that. So I insist on him taking me straight home. I don't even remember how I said bye to him, but I just ran straight upstairs. My girl Joy was spending the night. I come in and she's like, how was it? And I just unleash all of it onto her. She was laughing so hard. The girl was clapping her feet. Just ask her. Anyway, if you want to know how I cut ties with this person, follow for more and let me know if you want a part two.